online group. You're always welcome to check out the workouts that are over on YouTube. The links are always around on my social media. But today I want to talk about boom and bust. We can apply this in a couple of ways to health and fitness. First one, in terms of exercise. Just done a workout, gone steadily through it, and recovered quite quickly. Now that's probably an indication partly of my level of fitness, but it's improved quite well since I've been more consistent, coming out of lockdown, back in the gym, decent routine around work as well. That's really helped. Sometimes we get into a mentality of every workout has got to be really, really good, massive progression, want to see the numbers going up, want to go faster, burn more calories, whatever it is, the way that you're tracking it. Just that consistency of doing workouts is enough. For some days, that'll be having that metabolic turnover, utilising some of that energy you've got stored in your body as either body fat or what you've been eating for your nutrition. And along the way, those improvements will come. I've been doing daily runs to, as part of the school where I'm working, their active June fundraising actually for a therapy dog. Now some days running's really steady, an accumulation of the runs and the other training and doing the videos and everything like that. And then other days, actually, I feel that I can, for part of the run maybe, run at a nice higher pace. So the improvements are there, it's just not always there in the overall time. It'd be nice to kind of get to the end, have a little bit of recovery time, and then actually test how fast my 4K or so time is now compared to when I first started beginning of the month. So we get into that boom or bust mentality with training. It's got to be massive. It's got to be like a huge training session every single time. Actually, that consistency of turning up, regular training, regular activity, whatever it looks like for you, is, if anything, more important than having an epic workout on a Monday or Tuesday and then really tapering off the rest of the week because you've actually tired yourself so much that your recovery can't keep up with the fact that you want to go and do it again. Let's also talk about boom or bust in terms of weight loss and tracking. Now, it was heartbreaking actually to read this. Someone that I've got on Instagram, I don't even know where from, posted that they were really disappointed with only a 3 pound weight loss over a 2-week period. Now, I think if I'm right, they've had really good results from coming out of lockdown, really quick kind of drop in weight on the scales. So a 3 pound loss over 2 weeks to them is really disappointing. They've had that boom, wow, this is really working, and now they feel like it's a bust. But 3 pound weight loss over 2 weeks for anybody is a really, really good result. And maybe if they were tracking measurements, even just stomach and hips, or looking at what they can actually do physically with their workouts or their training, how that's improved, and put the scale weight kind of into a much smaller box, priority box, they hopefully would see how positive it is that they are obviously taking care of their nutrition, working out, being active. The boom part of this comes from usually the early stages. If you are basically starting from scratch, in a sense, with your nutrition particularly, then you might experience a really quick drop in scale weight. Now, people talk about water weight. The reason water weight drops away really quickly, often when you start eating better, is most of us, when we're not paying too much attention to our nutrition, end up eating quite high carbohydrate. You know, it's the bread, it's the Subways, it's the toast in the morning, it's the cereal. Every molecule of carbohydrate we ingest and digest is associated, as it's absorbed, has to be absorbed with 4 molecules of water. So for every kind of molecule of carbohydrates converted to sugars in the body that we've got floating around in our body, in our muscles, wherever it is, is 4 molecules of water associated with it. Most of the time when people change their nutrition, they prioritize protein, their carbohydrate intake naturally comes down, and they might switch to other forms of carbohydrates. So rather than being more focused on bread and pasta and things like that, might come across with more potatoes, rice, things like that. And it's just got a different way of working and absorbing in the body, particularly if you've actually reduced your carbohydrates. So as you then utilize the carbohydrates you've got as energy and start in a deficit with using your body fat as more of an energy source, because you're now in a calorie deficit, naturally that water that was then associated with the carbohydrates is metabolized, used in energy production and other processes in the body, and we sweat it out or we eat out. So there's that natural kind of turnover and drop in stored water in the body, as well as the carbohydrates getting used up and body fat stores potentially getting used as energy as well, which creates that initial first, maybe 5, 6, sometimes I've heard of way more over the first couple of weeks of drop. But that sets up a mindset then of that's normal, that's what's going to happen every week or 2 weeks, is I'm going to drop this huge amount of weight. Putting some numbers to it, I know this is not going to be 100% exact, to lose 3 pounds, 3 pounds of energy, or 1 pound of energy in terms of fat as an energy source, if I'm right, it might be more than this, is 3,500 calories. So in a sense, that's where this kind of 500 calories deficit per day comes from, because that is the amount of calories that your body would then need to use from body fat. So that makes 1 pound. So if this person's lost 3 pounds over 2 weeks, they must have consistently been in a calorie deficit of more than 500 calories per day on average over that 2 weeks. There might be a little bit of fluctuation with hydration, things like that. But so even if they've actually utilised 2 pounds of body fat, that means over 2 weeks, they have taken in 7,000 less calories than they need to stay at maintenance. Now that's a big achievement. That's hard work. That's being focused on your nutrition. And just focusing on the scale weight, that boom and then bust in terms of thinking, it takes away from that achievement. That's a massive achievement. And if you add that up, and even if that kind of fat loss, weight loss slows down to 1 pound a week, to half a pound a week, half a pound a week over a year is 25 pounds. That's pushing up towards 2 stone. A lot of people that post these things really don't need to lose 2 stone. And it's better to go steadily in your weight loss than it is to fly in with massive numbers and then A, not being able to maintain it, and B, feel like you're not achieving anything when that slows down into a steady place. Take that big win at the beginning, but understand where it comes from, and then steadily away, chipping away, like the workout I've done this morning, into that consistency of doing the right things, nutritionally, workouts, active, whatever that looks like for you, and the results will come. Steadier is definitely better than a boom and then feeling like, bust, I'm not achieving anything now.